Welcome to IPSY Beauty 101. I'm Sarian, and today I'm going to show you a beautiful holiday glam look for mature skin. I'm starting off by applying the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Primerizer. So this is a face primer and a moisturizer. This has hyaluronic acid in it, which is going to help plump fine lines, wrinkles, also give a deep hydration to the skin. This is going to smooth your skin, but also stop makeup from setting into pores. So I'm applying with a brush and mainly focusing in the T-zone. Now I'm going to apply the SMASHBOX Photo Finish Lid Primer. So this is going to help color correct the lid. It's also going to prevent the eyeshadow from creasing, caking, or fading throughout the day. I'm going to use a brush to apply, but you can use your finger or apply directly to the lid. This is one of my favorite products. It's the SMASHBOX Hydrating Under Eye Primer. This has caffeine in it. It helps with puffiness, dark circles. It's also hydrating, so it helps plump fine lines and wrinkles, but it's also gonna prime to prevent your concealer from creasing on you throughout the day. So normally you could just apply with your finger, but today I'm going to use a brush. I'm just applying this right underneath the eye, and a little bit will go a very long way. Now I'm gonna apply foundation. I'm applying with a foundation brush, and I wanna work in really sheer layers. So just grabbing a tiny bit, starting at the center of the face, working outwards. So once I apply with the brush, I do like to come back with the Beauty Blender and really push it into the skin. This will remove any excess makeup, so if you're looking really cakey in certain areas, it removes an extra layer of foundation but pushes it into the skin, so it gives you a more natural finish. But if you're getting brush strokes at all, this will get rid of that as well. I'm bringing the foundation down onto the neck. The neck is usually a little bit lighter than the rest of our face, so I do want it to match the foundation up here. Once I've achieved the coverage that I want, I'm going to apply concealer. I'm going to go a little bit lighter. I am going to apply with the brush just because it makes it a little bit easier to get into the corner of the eyes. But you can also use a beauty blender to help blend it out as well if you feel like the brush isn't blending it into the skin. Hormonally, we get red around the nose and the mouth, so you can always pop a little bit of concealer in here just to get rid of any redness that's peering through. After I have applied my concealer, I'm going to now set the concealer, so I'm using the MERCIER Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. Now I like to apply this with the brush because it's a lot easier to get underneath the eye and you're not picking up too much product to where it's really getting cakey. So I know a lot of people like to bake their under eyes. If you're going for a more natural finish, just lightly set. This is an eyeshadow brush, and I like to pick up some of the powder, and then I set the under eye, and right on the cheek a little bit. If you have fine lines or wrinkles around or under the under eye, setting your concealer in this way will prevent it from getting cakey, but also creasing on you or adding more texture. So just use a little bit, and using a small eyeshadow brush, you can really get in there and set the concealer so it doesn't crease on you. Next, I'm going to add some bronze and contour. So this is a palette by SMASHBOX, and it's called the Contour and Spotlight palette. It comes with a large variety of different bronzers, blush, highlight. There's so many different options that you can do with it. So I want to dip into a matte bronzer with a larger brush. The easiest way to add some warmth or even a soft contour to the face is think of a 3 and an E. So starting at the forehead, coming down onto the cheekbone, and then along the jawline, making an E. This is going to warm up the complexion and also add a soft contour, and then it's hitting the points where the sun naturally hits us on our face. I'm patting it into the skin so it doesn't move any of the foundation that I put on the face. I didn't set her whole face because I want to keep her dewy and luminous, but I also don't want to move anything. So patting will make sure that we don't move any of the foundation. If you have fine lines, wrinkles, or texture on the face, shimmer will add more texture or draw attention to the area. So that's why I chose a matte over a shimmer. So now I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight. So using a fan brush and just a little bit of product, I'm just applying to the highest point of her cheekbone. I like to take my Beauty Blender and really push it and soften it into the skin. If a shimmer highlight makes you uncomfortable, there is such a thing as a matte highlight. Let me swatch it for you really quick. But same thing, you would blend it into the skin and it would add some lightness to the face. I'm going to add a little bit of blush. I'm using a larger brush because I just want it to be a light wash of color and nothing too intense. I'm applying this right to the highest point of her cheekbone as well to really lift. This is also a matte shade. I don't want too much shimmer going on. I also like to pat. That way it doesn't move anything that I put on underneath it. Now I'm going to take a matte bronzer shade and we're going to contour the eye. So I'm taking my fluffier eyeshadow brush. If you have a hard time finding where your crease is at, there's 2 easy ways to do it. Tilt your head back and naturally you get a shadow in here where the brow bone is at and the socket. If you're having a hard time seeing it, you will feel your brow bone, and right underneath that is where like your eye socket's at, and that's your crease. So that's where I'm gonna put the color. I'm blending the contour shade more straight out versus a rounded shape. Once you open, you lose your crease. So coming more straight out will give that wider eye look and more lifted. Now I'm going to add an eyeliner. This is the easiest way to kind of spruce up any eye look, and it's very easy. Today I'm using a purple gel liner. A gel liner is a lot easier to smudge and create a smokier look with. Plus, it's waterproof and it will wear all day. So I'm just doing a thick line at the lash line, taking a smaller brush and just smudging it. Smudging the liner will give you a softer and smokier look, so it's not such an intense, harsh line. So once I have applied my liner, I'm now going to add a shadow on top of it, which is going to smoke it out a bit. I am going to add a little bit of a shimmer. If you have a mature eye, normally you want to be careful with shimmers. Always pair it with a matte to kind of tone it down and really soften the eye. And I'm taking a small liner brush. I'm pressing the shadow over the liner, and this is going to add a smoky effect, but also intensify the shadow. I'm slowly packing on the product so I don't get any fallout. And then I'm just gonna come right into the crease of the eye, coming up towards the crease color. Now I'm coming in with a blending brush, and I'm just wiggling the brush back and forth to really soften and blend. I'm going to take the purple liner that I had used on the upper lash line and now carry this along the lower lash line. I only want to go about halfway over the lower lash line because if you go all the way, sometimes it can make the eye look really small, and we want a sultry, smoky eye. So carrying this across and then smudging with my angle brush. Then taking that same burgundy shade that I carried across the upper lash line, I'm now taking and packing onto my lower lash line over the liner. I'm using a fluffier blending brush and grabbing a little bit of a shimmer highlight to add to the arch of the eyebrow. This is going to add some light and luminosity, but also draw attention upwards, which gives a nice little mini eye lift. I like to set the face before I do mascara. When you have a heavier lid or a hooded eye, sometimes your mascara can transfer onto your cheeks or on your lid, and that can just be really frustrating. So before I do mascara, I'm taking the SMASHBOX Primer Water, and I'm gonna use this to set her face. This is really going to help melt the powder, the liquid, the concealer, everything together as one and make it just look more like skin and not so makeup-y. This is always optional. You don't have to do this step, but it is nice. Do an X and a T, and you've got the whole face covered. We're using the SMASHBOX Full Exposure Mascara on top and bottom lashes. To finish off this look, I want to do a lip. I am using a lip liner in the color that's pretty similar to the lipstick I'm going to use. I'm following her natural lip line, starting at the lower, middle, center, then working my way towards the corners, and then starting at the Cupid's bow. And then at the corners, working my way upwards. I finished off the look with the SMASHBOX lipstick, and this is in the shade Honey. It's like a sheer chestnut shade, and it's great for just any day, special occasion, or just every day. Here's the finished look, and thank you guys so much for watching this episode of IPSY Beauty 101. Until next time, bye!